Hello everybody, hope you're having a great day. Well, I'm making biscuits, buttermilk biscuits with Crisco. It's a little different. I usually use butter, but it's easy to do. Let me show you how. Well, you start with just 1 cup of flour, regular flour, and to that we're going to add some baking powder. Not baking soda, but baking powder. And so for 1 cup we want to use about 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder and mix that really well. And then we're going to use Crisco shortening. 2 generous tablespoons of Crisco. Just go ahead and rake it out with your fingers, no problem. That's 1. And then number 2. Just like that. And then with the paper towel, we're going to kind of wipe some of that off of the spoon and use it to prepare the pan for the biscuits. Real easy. Nothing to it. Let's get that pan ready for those biscuits. Alright, and once you do that, you go back and you start to work the Crisco. You just squeeze it, and this is the easiest way. You can use a pastry cutter, but then you've got to wash the pastry cutter. I just consider this just as easy. It's much easier with Crisco than the cold butter, so it works really well. Just work it all in till it's crumbly, and then make a well in the center. And then you want to get 1/2 cup of buttermilk. Now you can also use regular milk, both work, but I'm using buttermilk this time. So 1/2 cup of buttermilk. And then you want to get something and begin to stir it together very gently. And I think this might be where a lot of people go wrong. They stir it too vigorously. Oh, it also reminds me, every time I make biscuits, there's always someone, my friends from overseas, in the UK, someone will post and say that these look a lot like scones, or we call these scones. And I appreciate you telling me that. But here we call them biscuits, and so that's what I call them. But you can call them anything you want to, as long as they turn out delicious. That's what really matters. And so we work this together just very gently, trying to get it all incorporated. You can see how it's starting to pick up the flour. Very easy. Just take your time. It's real simple. Anyone can do this. A lot of people struggle making biscuits, and I think they make it more complicated than it needs to be. Kind of like life, I suppose. It's not that complicated. You just go by some basic rules, and things tend to work out. So just about got that. You can see how it's picked up and made a shaggy dough. Go ahead and clean that off. Now we're going to put a little flour on the workbench and out with the dough. Get it out on the table so we can work on it, or the bench or the board, whatever you're working on, and you begin to bring that together. Just press it and work it, and we begin to fold it. You just don't want to overwork it. You want to be gentle with it. So we pull it together like that. Make sure it's not sticking. Fold it. The folds are important, I think. Just fold it over. I didn't count how many times I did this. Just kind of fold it and begin to make a rectangular shape. Fold it again. Just press it out with your fingers. I don't use a rolling pin. You can if you'd like to. And then I'm going to use my biscuit cutter as kind of a guide to set up the width of this dough and the length. So I'm looking at that, trying to get it just wide enough and just long enough so I can cut out 3 biscuits. 1, 2, is it going to fit? Yeah, that's about right. So we'll go ahead and cut these out. The first cut will be 3. And then I'll gather together what's left and make a 4th. So just pick those up and put them on the bake pan. Now we'll bring this together and kind of work it together into one larger biscuit. That way there's no waste. Just work it. just like that. Turn it around, press it, get it about the same thickness as the other biscuits, and there we go. Ready for the oven. Now I've got that oven preheated to 425 degrees. We'll put that in and set the timer for 14 minutes. So that's 425 degrees, 14 minutes. After the 14 minutes, they should be ready. Turn that timer off. And of course I'm going to need a pot holder. It's going to be hot. So out comes the biscuits. Ready to go, ready to eat. Not bad. Take a look at that. Risen nicely. Let's take a closer look. Oh yeah, very nice. Let's open this up. Not bad. I didn't use butter to cook them with, but I'm certainly going to put some butter on them. And how about some blackberry jam to go with those biscuits? Ah, just right. Well, that's how you do it. Crisco biscuits with blackberry jam. Hey, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you next time. Bye now.